Hello and welcome to Life Lessons with Barbara. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Barbara Aline Johnson, and I'll be sharing lessons I've learned. Some came harder than others from my many years of life experience, but I'll be sharing some lessons also from my work with others for 40 plus years as a counselor, a therapist, consultant, and life coach. I am the owner of BEJ and Associates, LLC, a transformational coaching and consulting company. My team and I specialize in dismantling barriers that stand between you and the life you truly want to live, or that business, project, or masterpiece you hope to create. And as always, I want to give a shout out to Wdrb Media for giving me this wonderful opportunity to spend these few minutes with you. And I hope you're enjoying After the Rain. That's playing in the background as much as I do. Now that's the mellow tune by the phenomenal Lois Lady Mac McMorris, lead guitarist extraordinaire. And the name of that tune is After the Rain. To download After the Rain and to hear more of her tunes, go to my website, bej-associates.com. And at the website, you can also hear and see most of the past shows that I've done and hear more about my company. And until the end of this month, you can even sign up for a free 45-minute coaching session. Again, that's bej-associates.com, and you're listening to Life Lessons with Barbara. Now enjoy a little more of After the Rain. Today is show number 9 of Life Lessons with Barbara, and we will continue our journey with Melissa, who you met last week. So this is part 2. Melissa last week shared her experiences as a victim of domestic violence. And then she's gone on to tell us how she found the strength to leave and how she began to reclaim her life and start the healing process. So I'm going to back it up a bit if you tuned in last week so you can hear about the one pivotal moment and then the question that I left at the end for her to respond to. You will hear her response to that. With 3+ years behind her, Melissa offers messages of hope and ways to avoid the trap in the first place. So listen up, ladies. And I guess gentlemen too. Stay tuned.
I watched a podcast. It was about it was a TED Talk. I cannot remember her name. She was wearing all black. She had gone to Harvard. She was a very well-educated, amazing businesswoman who, despite all of that, had married a guy who was, before she even walked down the aisle, she knew that he lived with 3 guns, and he punched her and etc. before they even got married. Mm-hmm. And she still walked down the aisle and she still kept the fantasy. And when she left, she was able to recover and to move forward and to find a really great person and remarry and reclaimed her life 100%.
That's interesting that you happened to see that.
I happened to see that Thursday before the Wednesday that I left. It was basically a week after I saw that before that, chronology was I saw that on a Thursday. I got in touch with a couple of girlfriends, I think Friday. By Monday of the next week, and I thought, okay, I'll do this in like 2 weeks. By Monday of the next week, I had started setting it in motion. By Wednesday, I was at the courthouse. I thought I was going to put it off for financial reasons, and I suddenly realized, why am I going to stay here to go through finances with somebody who is in all likelihood going to punch me during that financial session at some point? Why am I going to do that to myself? So I didn't. It's amazing how much you can find yourself when you're simply ready to do it.
Yes. And is there anything that you can attribute that to? And okay, so where I'm headed is,
Yes, ma'am.
Was there some kind of spiritual awakening or something, maybe watching that TED Talk or something that kicked in and gave you, empowered you with resolve that you didn't have before, that overtook the fear?
It reminded me that it gave me this person, because I have a college education. I was employed. I had a sense of self. I had a sense of purpose before I met him. I was shown the moon and stars. I just didn't realize they were nothing more than, flashlights on the ceiling, basically. He still is a very typical malignant narcissist. Very charming. And as soon as he knows that he's got somebody under his thumb, he starts taking the pieces of self away. I think that most of us who get into that, there are pieces of us that are already fragile when we meet them. And it's whether or not we are ready to really own ourselves when we leave, as to whether or not we get enmeshed in another one and another one and another one afterwards. I love myself.
Yeah.
And it didn't take that much after I left him to really start figuring out who I really was again.
And that's when I met Melissa.
Yes, that's when we met.
Already there. And, full of energy, and, that was fueled by, anger and all that stuff. And so that's when we started our work together, just channeling all of that.
I've slowly burned some of that anger off. Although I will say, for what it's worth, the current situation that we are in this country, having spoken with quite a few women who have gone through what I've gone through, our PTSD is flaring all over the place. And I think for a lot of us, the only way that we are keeping our feet on the ground is because we have done so much work. Those of us who are keeping our feet on the ground.
Right. So what advice, we'll talk about how you came to, to get where you are now. And now I'm looking forward to that conversation. But for our listeners, what life lessons or what words of wisdom would you like to impart? Because, well, let me just set the premise that what
what is obvious, like the woman on TED Talk that you observed, who was was a major inspiration for you, it says that you don't have to be. I mean, you said that maybe there's some pieces of you that are fragile, but very capable women like yourself find themselves in that kind of situation.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have, reflecting back, can you recall when you gave up your power to him or to that relationship?
I don't know that there was any one defining moment. I think it was a lot of people pleasing and spending years of my life being overeager to make someone other than myself happy. This might sound trite, but the whole concept of women are brought up as little girls to find the prince who's going to take care of us.
And that's no matter how smart or how accomplished or beautiful they are.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it's a conditioning.
Right. And what the disservice that we as parents, and mind you, I just have a son, but I'm seeing it in him when he's like, well, mommy, I'm a prince. And I'm like, well, guess what? You're still my son. And you're only a prince if your mama's a queen. And sometimes I throw in there, and since I happen to be a goddess.
We went from queen to goddess.
I will do what I have to do to keep his feet on the ground. But to take it back, we do little girls a disservice in pushing this whole concept of find your prince. Princes are charming. Princes don't know how to take care of anything other than, looking really good and making themselves seem better than they are. We're not, our society's not teaching little girls to learn how to be queens in their own life. Find Prince Charming. Have someone who takes care of you. You let them take care of you. They should be doing all of these things for you. It's not honey, learn how to pay your bills, have a job, take care of yourself, keep your home up. Just because you have a car and you go to work 5 days a week does not mean that you're taking care of your stuff. It means that you're being an adult. It doesn't mean that you're ready for someone super impressive to come and sweep you off your feet. It means you're being a grown-up. Learn how to be a grown-up.
Well, I guess you heard that. So that is our life lesson for today. Learn how to be a grown-up. Thank you, Melissa. Yes, we have to look to ourselves and all of who we are to be okay, and not look outside ourselves for someone to rescue us or someone to change our lives or make our lives better. Thank you again for tuning in to Life Lessons with Barbara. Next week, we'll continue with Melissa's story. I hope you enjoyed today's show and that you'll tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And don't forget to visit my website, vej-associates.com, to download the fabulous Lady Max After the Rain and to check out her other tunes. And you can also learn more about VEJ and Associates and sign up to take advantage of our free 45-minute life coaching session while they last. And also be reminded about the huge 3-day celebration of Dr. Joe L. Dudley Sr.'s 80th birthday. And that's going to happen in Winston-Salem, May 20th through the 22nd. All the information you need, links to buy tickets, all of that is on the website, bej-associates.com. Remember your life lesson for today. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.